Uncle Bruni, reporting live for Professor Nixon's property class project. Here in sunny Mount Lebanon, we have Bows and Bows, a former pet grooming shop, now trying to become a vape shop. Now you might ask, what's all the fuss about this? Let me tell you. Mount Lebanon is one of the oldest suburbs in Pittsburgh, located around 20 minutes south. Now, you might be asking, how old really is Mount Lebanon? Surveys were made in Mount Lebanon starting in 1770, and now Mount Lebanon is one of the greatest, nicest places to live in Pittsburgh, with this public school ranked #1 in Pittsburgh. Now, Mount Lebanon became a township in 1912. Mount Lebanon is also known for some of the most famous people in the world. Mark Cuban is less famous, but pit law alum Brian Cuban, and also future draft pick Eli Heidenreich. One of the key things about Mount Lebanon that makes it so great is its community. It's a place where walkability, families are raised, and it's urban living in the suburbs. And so, what is so interesting is we're going to allow a vape shop to come into a nice residential place, and Mount Lebanon residents are extremely upset. So, Mount Lebanon residents have amassed over 10,000 signatures to try to prevent this vape shop from coming in right here. You might be asking, we learned recently about this in Euclid zoning. This is a commercially zoned area. So Mount Lebanon legally, as currently, cannot prohibit a vape shop from coming in. It is a business. And like we learned in Trip Associates, this business is allowed to prosper if there's no zoning ordinance against it. But here's where it comes in. Tuesday, April 14th, there's a proposed zoning ordinance meeting where they will try to restrict vape shops across Mount Lebanon from being a certain distance from schools and hours and other regulations to force vape shops out of Mount Lebanon. While Mount Lebanon cannot legally prohibit this vape shop from coming from opening, they're doing it right here. What they can't do for their zoning is introduce a definition. This definition will greatly restrict what can be open in this vape shop, the hours, and their necessarily products sold. See, many Mount Lebanon residents are quite angry about this. We had a few people walking by even say how displeased they are that more vape shops are coming into the area. Cited in many articles, they're talking about the fact that Mount Lebanon is a walking district, right? There are no school buses. Children at lunchtime walk these streets to get something to eat, to buy something. And this is, do we really want children being around and exposed to vape shops? Vapes provide no health benefits. It's nothing but cancer into our bodies. We need to put an end to this. Mount Lebanon residents have expressed their displeasure in these vape shops. A few quotes. They're growing like weeds. I don't think it's good for this particular community, said Jim Bentz, a business owner on this street. 2 schools within 2 blocks. We have kids that pour out during lunchtime after school and up and down these streets, said a Mount Lebanon mom. We cannot legally forbid vape shops under Pennsylvania law, the Mount Lebanon Commissioner of Zoning said. What we can do through zoning is restrict where they can be and how close they can be to schools, parks, and churches. And lastly, vape shops seem to work very independently of others. They're not maybe involved in the fun things and activities that happen. I don't agree with these vape shops coming in. They put them in here and then everyone's addicted to it. These chemicals are coming from China and now they want to open up more, harming our children. Doors down from this proposed vape shop, we even have a law firm. Maybe they'll do something about it. Here we are, only a football field away from the proposed vape shop. We're at Puff Diggity, another vape shop on the great streets of Mount Lebanon. Look, they're advertising chews, cigars, other things that we don't want children ingesting in our body. Inside of Puff Diggity. Now, while the other vape shop owner declined the request to interview, a neighboring couple walking by said they chose Mount Lebanon as it's a streetcar suburb community where they can walk. And they said that they don't like vape shops. People wants to see more restaurants, more small businesses, more bakeries rather than vape shops. These bakeries provide a lively community in that sense. Places where people can congregate, not places, there's no congregation in vape shops, as they said. And I completely agree, and I think Mount Lebanon as a community has had a long history since 1912 of being a place not only where you can just live, but for where you also can walk the streets, hang out with neighbors, and a great place to live outside of Pittsburgh. The city of Pittsburgh has already proposed similar changes, like the Mount Lebanon zoning regulations. They've already proposed that vape shops cannot be within 1,500 feet of schools, of churches, and other residential and park neighborhoods. Another tactic that some other townships across Pittsburgh have been using is to limit how many vape shops can be in the same proximity of each other. Ross Township has made a new ordinance that vape shops cannot be within 3,000 feet of each other and 1,500 feet from schools. Now here, if we look down the street, it's not even close to 3,000 feet. That's only around 100 yards. And see, this is what people don't want. We don't want vape shops, a million vape shops in communities. Families are walking, people are having a great day, and stores are greatly inhibited by, other stores are greatly inhibited by these vape shops popping up. Vape shops are not just a Pittsburgh problem. Across the state, the entire have seen an increased spike of vape shops. There are currently 1,701 licenses to sell these vape products across the state. It increased from 1,000 in 2023. Now this massive spike shows that people, while they might be popular, this is not what is productive long-term for people's health and the community. Now, we learned in Strip Associates, just because a business might be immoral, like the strip club and strip associates, these vape shops are not necessarily against the law. And what we have to ask ourselves is, will the economic benefit of allowing a vape shop owner to open up a business and provide for his family outweigh the cost of maybe potentially having you purchase these vape shops? So, the question that we eventually have to ask ourselves is, what's Mount Lebanon's choice going to be? Mount Lebanon has a long history in property law. They had, just recently we learned that Mount Lebanon had a racially restrictive covenant in their neighborhood of Cedarhurst Manor. Now, this restrictive actions are not good. We need to have housing that's inclusive for all, and something Mount Lebanon needs to strive to get better at. Mount Lebanon residents are now just learning that although they have strict zoning regulations and a 3.36 property median tax, which is some of the highest in Pennsylvania, that they cannot restrict certain businesses from coming in their stores like vape shops. But through their new ordinances and their proposed rule changes on April 14th and April 21st, we will see if the Mount Lebanon residents win or the vape shops. Michael Bruni reporting live from Mount Lebanon for Properties Professor Nixon's class. Have a good one, folks.